Hey guys, so I'm not sure if you can hear out there, it's blowing a gale. I will still try and do a video though, but yeah, if you can't hear me, that could be why. Um, okay, so this one is basically pet peeves, like annoyances, things that drive me crazy. So, as you guys know, and I've mentioned it before, I am part of, well, more than one roleplay. And one of the ones I joined recently is set back when Sirius and James and all those guys were kids. So it's Harry Potter related. Um, and it's basically, when Harry's parents and all the rest of them were kids, and which is fine. I like that part because I get to play Sirius, who happens to be my favorite character, so I'm happy. The thing that slightly annoys me is when people put characters that in the books didn't come into it until way later in with them. Like, for example, in this roleplay, Ted Tonks, who in the books is a muggle and didn't find out about all of this stuff until Andromeda, who he married, who is Sirius's cousin, he didn't find out about all this stuff until Andromeda was an adult and she married him. So the fact that in this roleplay he's in Ravenclaw, it doesn't work because he's not magical, and it drives me crazy because I mean, like, granted, people, different, like, fans of Harry Potter. I mean, to say you're a fan suggests that you know practically everything about it all the time. That, anyone could ask you just a random question and you'd answer. You'd know exactly how to answer straight away. Someone could say to you, name the Deathly Hallows. You'd be able to name them. Name specific characters, Death Eaters, Muggleborns, whatever, and you'd be able to do it. You'd be able to name them. So, for a group that are doing a role play to get a character mixed up and, implying that they're magical when they're actually a muggle, for people that are supposed to be fans of Harry Potter, ugh, that just bugs me. See, I can't accept that someone's a fan if they get those kind of mistakes wrong. Because, I mean, to me, a fan is someone who knows. Like, I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, I know there are people out there who, you know, they'll read a book and they'll like it, but that's it. But a lot of these people that say that they're fans of Harry Potter and imply that they've read the books, 100 times and, seen the movies constantly and that kind of stuff. To me, that kind of person should know, Ted Tonks is a muggle and not getting mixed up in a roleplay that's supposed to be, Sirius and James and all the rest of them when they were kids at school. Um, but yeah, that kind of stuff just annoys me when people make those kind of mistakes. And it's also the same when you get on a lot of these Facebook pages that are, being adminned by people around the world, that, they do quizzes and the admin that's doing the quiz gets the answer wrong, or, spells stuff wrong, or whatever. If you like this stuff, you know how to spell it. You don't have to, I mean, I'll admit, not everybody is the best speller in the world. That's fine. But, I've seen people that in their normal posts, they're great spellers, and then you get them spelling character names wrong. And it's like, if you're a fan of something like this, you don't spell names wrong. You don't get that kind of stuff wrong. And it bugs me when people do, because you can't call yourself a fan of that sort of stuff if you're getting it wrong. If you're making those kind of mistakes, that tells other people you're not as, I guess, tuned in, and that don't know as much as you claim you do. Because if you're that much of a fan of things like that, I mean, granted, like, I know a lot of this stuff myself, so granted, I know I'll have times where I blank for a moment and can't quite think of an answer, but I do get it eventually. And if I don't know it, I say so before I check. Like, I'll say, oh, I'm not sure, I'm just going to check this. And I don't just go, oh, and blurt out some random answer that's not going to be right. So it just, it drives me nuts. I mean, I'll admit, when I started on the Next Generation roleplay that I'm part of, I'll admit that when it came to the kids, Harry Potter, like Harry's kids and all of them, I knew Harry and Ginny's kids, I knew Ron and Hermione's kids, and I knew of Teddy and Victoire, and that was it. So when I looked it up, and they had, Bill and Fleur had 3 kids, and Percy had a couple of kids, and George had a couple of kids, and that sort of thing. I was kind of, huh? Either these, well, like, I looked at it and thought either these people have made up these kids, which is fine, that doesn't bother me, or J.K. added more kids and just didn't actually put them in the epilogue at the end of the book, which was, again, fine, but I just wasn't aware of it at the time. And then, since then, I've looked this stuff up on, you know, her JK's websites and stuff like that, which, you know, that's not that bad, but it just, I'll admit, there are times when there are things I wasn't aware of, but now that I do know, I make sure to remember so that I don't get it wrong. But yeah, anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think, as usual. Um, I'm, if anyone that is part of the roleplays that I mentioned, especially the one that's the Marauders era one, I'm not trying to take a insult you guys or anything. Like, I'm not trying to make out that you're stupid or anything, because you're not. I'm just venting. Like, I enjoy being part of this roleplay because it's so much fun, and you guys are great. And the person that roleplays as Ted on this one is actually doing a brilliant job. But yeah, it's just a little. I'm one of those OCD types that likes it to follow the book and all that sort of stuff. So just ignore me. I'm just having a bit of a rant. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'm out. I'll see you some other time, and hope you enjoy.